It is Iran's civil rights movement, and it's led by students. They break through the fear that kept them compliant, break through the wall that separated men from women, and chant one word: freedom. At Iran's most elite universities, they vow never to give up. They don't want reform, they want revolution. This university student told us, asking to be kept anonymous.
Change the regime. Woman, life, freedom.
Female students fueled the demonstrations by burning what was once a regime pillar, the mandatory headscarf. They are leaderless and mostly nonviolent, which they contrast with the crackdown. You are amoral, they chant. I am the noble woman. But the regime fights back. Across the country, police exhibit no restraint. Students run for their lives. 2 weeks ago, the family of 16-year-old Nika Shakarami accused the police of detaining and murdering her after she protested. At her gravesite, the crowd chanted, "Death to Khamenei."
The government agents shot directly to those who came to participate in the funeral ceremony. They use any method to find the protesters. In our schools and universities, forces in military uniforms attack the students with batons and guns and through tear gas.
Students post blurred videos to protect protesters' identities. Many of the students who spoke to us did so on the condition we don't show their face and alter their voice.
Some of them were chanting, and the police officers, the men with motorcycles came. There were like 20, 30, and they started to shoot us. What did we do? They don't care. They just started to shoot us, and a lot of people got shot in front of me, including me. I got shot, but it was just paintball.
Students and teachers told us protesters have been expelled, and teachers are pressured to rat student demonstrators out. The UN and human rights groups say hundreds, if not thousands, of students have been detained and dozens killed.
From one side, they were shooting us. From another side, they were waiting to arrest us. We experienced all these moments because of what? What was our fault? We were just asking for our basic human rights, for the freedom of our friends who did nothing wrong.
Today in a photo op, Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei met students in Tehran. He later said he had no issues with student protesters, but called them emotional and negligent in their understanding and manipulated by the West. Another student told us he's missing the point.
We're protesting for a better life, of course. A lot of choices were taken away from us, especially women. Under this regime, it's not just about hijab. It's about the choice of living however we want. We want to choose our own religion, and we want to wear the clothes we want.
This student says the protests are the only thing anyone discusses. They help each other to avoid internet censorship and to keep the faith.
I guess we're kind of hopeful too, because before this protest started, a lot of students my age were planning on immigrating, and I guess, at least I'm speaking for myself, that I'm kind of hopeful that I can stay here. We're fighting so we don't have to leave our country behind, we don't have to leave our family behind. We're fighting so we could build our lives here. A world without Islamic Republic is a better world for everyone.
Because this was a generation that hasn't been politically very active or hasn't mobilized, and their response is quite fierce. They're very angry, and they're looking to push back, not just on social issues, but clearly political ones as well.
Sanam Vakil is a Middle East analyst at Chatham House. She says previous protests have lasted longer. The 2009 Green Revolution went on for 9 months, but none of them had demonstrators as diverse.
And we've seen dissent emanating from students, labor activists, as well as ethnic groups. So it does bring together really critical cleavages that, should they over time continue to cooperate and organize and mobilize, will be important and put pressure on the regime.
Iranian universities have long hosted calls for democratic change. In 1979, university students played a crucial role to evict the monarchy and create the Islamic Republic. In 2022, it's not only students, it's also their teachers.
They are destroying Iran. Yeah. So we want them to go. That's what we want.
And have you felt this way for a while, but are only now willing to speak out, even give this interview?
As I remember, I always wanted that. And I couldn't do anything because I was alone. Now I feel we are united.
She teaches at a high school where her students write "Death to the Dictator" on classroom walls, but management is divided.
Principal called police upon all the students to be arrested.
And do you encourage your students to protest?
I did. And it was so dangerous because maybe some of them go and tell other one that security will come for me if they do such, but they didn't. Otherwise, I would be arrested by now. And I'm proud of them. I won't stop doing that, stop protesting and fighting back until I get my right. And also, the regime will change. When the regime change, I will stop.
But for now, analysts say regime change is unlikely, and so this moment has become a movement.